Okay, so after an absolutely fantastic and world-changing episode last week, we kind of half go back to the fillery type episodes that we'd been getting up to this point. But also at the same time we don't, because these episodes do connect directly to one another. It does feel like there's more continuity between these two episodes than there are most other two episodes of this show. So we'll have to see if that continues. It doesn't seem like it's going to continue from the second of these two episodes directly into the next episode, but we'll have to see when that next episode comes out. And kind of just like last week, the character stuff and the implications of these two episodes are more what I want to talk about than the plots of the episodes themselves. So let's get them out of the way really, really quick. In the first one, the Plantars, Sans, Hop Pop, and Polly go with Marcy on a scavenger hunt to decode a message from the king. And all throughout it, Anne laments that she's not as smart as Marcy, ergo she's not able to solve the puzzles as well as Marcy does, though she does show that she's intelligent in her own way by the end. But as she's lamenting that she's not as intelligent, she's making connections with people throughout Newtopia. Connections which, in the end up helping the group out of a difficult situation. Granted, it's one that Anne kind of got them into in the first place, but it's fine. Everything worked out fine. The second of the two episodes is primarily about the Plantars staying at a hotel in the palace, by the palace. I'm not really 100% sure, but it doesn't actually matter. I would have gone and checked. Point is, it's like the best hotel ever, and they have a limitless money card from the king of Newtopia, and Sprig wants to just go spend their infinite money and have fun around the city. They tell him not to leave the hotel, go to take a nap, and he's like, well, I can't leave the hotel, but I can go do stuff around the hotel. And it's basically a whole episode of him being kind of a rich asshole until at the end he ends up realizing how much he's inconvenienced this particular bellhop who... I know I've heard her voice actress before. I can't quite put my finger on where I've heard her voice actress before, but she just sounded so familiar. But it's not important. The point is, he uses that little bit of power that he's been given to improve her situation by the end, and it was just a really funny episode in general. Getting what was effectively a Sprig solo episode was pretty great. Sprig is a hilarious character. They even did the really funny, if you drink too much coffee, you go into flash time joke from Futurama, but with Sprig, they did it like twice. And it was actually like a frickin' plot point. It was pretty frickin' hilarious. I liked it a lot. But I said that the implications of the stories of these episodes were what really appealed to me, and that's absolutely true. Primarily, I really found the king interesting. We actually meet him at the beginning of the second of these two episodes. He's the one who gives them the infinite money card. He's very large. He's like King Leviathan, the first of his name or something. I don't remember his full name. That's what stuck out to me, though, because he's gigantic. Like, just moving around in the vicinity of other characters can blow their hair around and blow them off their feet and stuff. He's that big and powerful. But he's also just this big, lovable oaf kind of character. He sent Marcy a puzzle to solve in order to decode the fact that he wanted her to bring the Plantars to have an audience with him. Like, that's goofy. And then when they meet him, he's goofy. He's trying to learn human things, and he's trying to genuinely befriend them. He seems like such a nice guy, and he's doing all the research into getting them home entirely on his own. And I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him. And while I am stronger than I look, again, he's quite large. Like, I hope I'm wrong and that there's nothing sinister about him, because he is a likable character. I liked him as a character, and I'd probably like him as a person if he were real and didn't accidentally step on and or sit on me. But just everything about this show up to this point, everything that we've learned about Newtopia, seeing how decrepit the outside of the city looks, seeing that the Toads would want to rebel against the king in the first place, it screams to me that there's something nefarious going on with this guy, and hopefully, it's just that he doesn't really take things seriously. That he is just kind of a big goof, and they will resolve it by him realizing he needs to take things more seriously and be a more active king, or something like that. Hopefully he's not actually an evil guy, but The fact that he's doing all the research into the Calamity Box himself, and the first thing he does when Anne mentions that she actually knows where the box is get super excited that he might get to see it himself immediately. It kind of suggests to me that he knows more about it than he's letting on, and might want the power of the box for himself, maybe? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Or it's possible somebody in his court is maybe manipulating him. Maybe he's so childish that somebody in his court is manipulating him and they want to take advantage of the box for themselves, so they manipulated him into doing all the research himself because they know they can control him. I don't know. We don't know enough about his advisors yet. We met that nice lady Newt who's friends with Marcy again, but we don't really get any more of her character here than we did in the brief cameo that we got back in Marcy at the Gates. In fact, I don't even think I mentioned her in that review because we saw so little of her there. I don't know. Maybe they will prove me wrong. Maybe they will buck with tradition and this guy won't turn out to be secretly evil. He certainly doesn't seem like he's secretly evil, but it would genuinely surprise me if he's not. Right? I also really like how, in the first of these two episodes in particular, but also with that bellhop with the strangely recognizable voice, they are taking the time to show us the little people of Newtopia, and it's not great for them. Like, just in general, it seems like there are more people out and about in Newtopia who are struggling than there should be, considering how opulent the city is. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to draw some parallels to real life. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Point is, they're world building, and I like it a lot. I also like that this episode gives us a better idea of what the dynamic is between the three girls. Sasha's very upfront. She's like physicality and aggression and strength. Marcy is very reserved, very considerate, very intellectual, very smart. And Anne, as I've suggested elsewhere, is kind of the glue that binds them together. She's the heart of their group. She's the emotional core. Which somebody actually made this comparison in an ask on my Tumblr, which you should visit and send me asks. I like getting asks on Tumblr, which basically said the same thing. So I'm just going to use their example that Sasha's strength, Marcy's intelligence, and Anna's heart. But I'm gonna come at it with an analogy of my own. It's a Star Trek analogy, so you are entirely welcome to just check out for a couple minutes if that's not your thing. But if you know anything about Star Trek, and I'm picking species that people should know about just from like pop culture osmosis, right? The Vulcans and the Borg. The Borg are evil cyborgs that want to turn everybody else into cyborgs or else kill everybody else off because they believe that only they are perfect and they want to make the entire galaxy perfect. They're extremely powerful, extremely dangerous, extremely logical. The Vulcans, on the other hand, are also pretty powerful, also pretty dangerous, also logical, also logic-driven. The difference between the two of them is that the Vulcans are driven also by ethics, whereas the Borg are not, which makes the Borg infinitely more dangerous. Strength and intelligence tempered by heart can be a great benefit to everyone, but strength and intelligence, which has no concern for those kinds of things, can be extremely dangerous, if not just absolutely useless, because nothing ever comes of either of them. So not only does this episode, and the fact that they blatantly call out the fact that Anne's strength is that she makes connections with people, not only does that effectively confirm that she's the one who made their friend group work in the first place, but it also gives us some idea of what the dynamic of these three girls will be once they eventually do come back together, which I'm 100% sure they're going to now at this point, because Anne is the heart of the three. She's the connection of the three. She is going to reconnect them. That's going to be her first arc in this show. I know that. It's so clear I can almost see it happening already. It also makes me kind of want to start theorizing about how they became friends. Like, Anne in Scavenger Hunt mentions that Marcy tends to do all their work when they're doing group projects because she's just better at it. So it makes me wonder, were these three girls like a project group or something, and Anne did her making connections thing and connected them and brought them together, and they just never really fully separated again? Is that how they became friends? Were they dropping hints here? Or am I reading too much into this show? It's probably that latter thing. But I still had fun thinking about it, so it doesn't matter. Overall, these 2 episodes were very good. I wouldn't say they're great. They built the world a little bit, but they didn't really further the story all that much. I do like the new setting a lot. I like having Marcy as a major recurring character a lot. I am super psyched to see more of her going forward, and I'm super psyched to see more of Newtopia going forward. I was kind of nervous that making this, at the very least, semi-permanent change to the show's setting would be awkward. So far, it's not at all. So at the end of the day, I'd say that these episodes, while they did give me some things to think about, primarily have gotten me really excited to see what comes next, what comes immediately after this, how they make use of the new setting and the new possibilities that the setting presents. All of that said, if you've seen the Amphibia episodes Scavenger Hunt and the Plantars Check-In, the most recent episodes of Amphibia, what did you think of them? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below or over my Discord, link in the description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.